Have you ever been to the grocery store to purchase pasta and you end up just becoming completely overwhelmed looking at 20 different brands, 10 different variations, and you end up actually having a better idea on which one to pick versus if there were only a few options? Well, the same applies to online dating. A lot of people think more is more, but actually less is more. And that is what we are going to be talking about in this video, is two ideas. The first one being choice paralysis, and the second one being the 80-20 principle. So let's get right into it. Choice paralysis is this phenomenon that occurs when we are bombarded with way too many options, and we generally end up not picking anything, and it's because our brain becomes so overwhelmed with information that it becomes harder and harder to identify which product or item or person is better. Actually, it's better to assess things in smaller groups versus in huge groups, right? We always want to narrow down our options and then pick the best from those few versus being overwhelmed with hundreds of options and then generally not picking the best one of the bunch. So when I discuss rotational dating, which if you're not sure what that is, then check out my video on that topic up here. But when I say rotational dating, I think a lot of people get this assumption that we're just dating dozens of men at a time, and that is just so far from the truth. When it comes to rotational dating, I recommend 2 to 5 guys in the rotation max, and I generally don't think you should even have any more than 3. You want to pick the best of the best and then be rotating between only those few. You don't want to just be dating 30 guys, but all of them are just average. And even if there is a few guys in there that are good, it's going to be really hard to compare your options and to even think clearly and to narrow down which guy is truly a better fit, because there's just too much going on. There's too much energy. There's too many different personalities, and you are going to be making a worse decision versus if you were just comparing between 2 or 3. So here is what the experts say about choice paralysis. Choice overload, also known as overchoice, choice paralysis, or the paradox of choice, describes how people get overwhelmed when they are presented with a large number of options to choose from. While we tend to assume that more choice is a good thing, in many cases, research has shown that we have a harder time choosing from a larger array of options. So when my clients come to me and tell me that they are dating 15 guys, I generally don't congratulate them. I actually tend to get a little bit worried about them because I don't feel that they're truly optimizing their dating experience. Online dating does not just mean that you go out with any guy who sends you a message. Online dating means that you become strategic about who you date. Yes, you are going to sift through dozens, if not hundreds of matches, but the number of men that you actually go on a date with should be quite few. You don't want to confuse yourself or overwhelm yourself by going out with every guy who sends you a message. You really only want to be going out with the few men that are consistent, that are courting you, that are putting in effort. It's only the guys that are doing the right things, asking you out ahead of time, being respectful of you and your standards and your boundaries, all these things. You really only want to go out with the top 20% of the dating pool that fit those needs and requirements. If you are someone that needs help identifying which men to pick out of, a certain number from your dating inbox or from men that you've swiped right on, then check out my description down below to book a coaching call with me, and I can help you narrow down your options. So the next principle that we want to talk about is Pareto's principle. And this is also known as the 80-20 rule. This is a very, very interesting phenomenon with some insane implications, okay? So in any venture, okay? Whether it be business, whether it be health, whether it be YouTube. 20% of your effort will yield 80% of your results, okay? So let me give you guys a few examples so you kind of get the gist of this. On my YouTube channel, 20% of my videos, so only 1 out of 5 in every of my videos, gives me the most traction, the most views, the most revenue. As many of you guys know, I have an education business. And in that business, 20% of my clients give me 80% of my revenue. And the same is true across anything. Like even in your health journey, 20% of your workout is yielding 80% of the results that you're getting, the definition, the muscle. So why is this so eye-opening? It's because a lot of what we do doesn't matter, doesn't count, doesn't make a difference. And that's why actually a lot of self-development books say, figure out what that 20% is and hone in on it. Focus on it. Figure out what are the most important actions I'm taking, those 20% that really yield the majority of my results. So here are a few other examples of Pareto's principle. The top 20% of investors own 80% of a company's assets. The most focused 20% of your effort goes towards 80% of your work. So with all this in mind, how can choice paralysis and the 80-20 principle help us when it comes to online dating? Well, you want to figure out which 20% of men on that dating app are going to give you 80% of your actionable results. Okay, which 20% of men are going to be putting in 80% of the effort to take you out, to court you, to talk to you, to take the relationship to the next level? Because let me tell you, most guys on the dating app are there to waste time, are there for a hookup buddy, are there for someone to talk to, a pen pal, or they've just been on the app for years. They're not really taking it seriously. Only 20% of the online dating candidates are actually serious, are actually looking for love, are actually on there with a purpose. And the same goes for women. I'm not just saying that men are here doing this. Women are doing it too. Most women on the app are not really on there with a purpose, are not really on there with a strategy, are not really on there with a plan. Okay, but I hope that my viewers are those 20% that are going on there with a strategy, with a plan, with the right mentality. When you are looking at online dating, you really want to be discerning between which men, which 20% of the pool of people on there are actually worth investing in, are actually worth going on a date with, are actually worth trying things out with. Because most are not worth it. Most are not up to par. Most are not looking for what you're looking for. Most are not willing to meet your standards. Most are not willing to compete to win you over. That is just the truth of the matter. As you guys know my dating journey, since I was a freshman in college, I was online dating unless I was in a relationship. I would online date, and then when I found someone, when I was in a committed relationship, I'd get off the app. But basically, I was on a dating app since I was 18 if I was single. And I was always on the dating app with an agenda, with an incentive, with the desire and the plan to meet my life partner, to get married, to find my husband. And here we are, right? Because I was one of the 20% of women on that app that was actually on it with a mission. So you want to meet those 20% of men who are on that same like-minded mission, who are also looking for their feminine woman, for their future wife. And you only want to spend your time choosing through those men. You don't want to be overwhelmed and have the choice paralysis going out with 80% of the guys or 90% of the guys. You really want to limit your interactions to only those 20% that fit the requirements, that have the same agenda, the same mission. So when I meet with you guys in a one-on-one setting and we get on a call, I can really help you identify which men are worth talking to, are worth hanging out with. Because a lot of guys are just there to waste time, or they're there to see what's out there, but they're not really there to take action. And I've been there. I've been on apps and had guys who message me every day calling me sweet things, but they were not planning dates. They were not ready to take it to the next level. They were essentially wasting my time. And I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn it by wasting time, by going out with the wrong guys, having to choose between a bunch of men. And then I realized that is not the strategy that is beneficial. That's not the strategy of least resistance, and that's not the strategy that I teach to you guys. So I really want you guys to use choice paralysis and Pareto's principle to your advantage by really only focusing on the top 20% of candidates on the dating app that you're currently using. Less is more, be strategic, and really only focus on those 2 to 5 people that are showing you clear signs that they have what it takes, that they have the ingredients of a successful partnership. So that is what I have for you guys today. If it was helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye!